Okay, this is one of the comments I received YouTube video I did few years ago. I did this on my Peugeot 406. So it reads, hello sir, this is from Najib Umar. It reads, hello sir, between the two V6 engine in Peugeot 406, which is the best? And also, which is less problematic and not complicated? Okay, so let's start with which is the best among the two engine. What you mean the best? I don't know how to say that. Both are very good. Uh, both are very good. The ES9J4 is older, 95 to 1998, while ES9J4S succeeded or is newer. So succeeded ES9J4, which is 99, 99 to 2004 in Peugeot 406. So now, it depends. Like I say, when it comes to which is best, which is the now in terms of fuel consumption, the newer consume less, which is the ES9J4S. While the ES9J4 consume a little bit more, but not that much, they consume a little bit more. Now, in terms of power, the ES9J4S, the newer one, has more power than the ES9J4, which is the older one. So, in other words, even though the newer has more power, but it still consume less fuel than um, the earlier or the older ES9J4 with lesser power that consumes more. So, but like I said, the consumption not that much. It's there, yeah, it consumes more, but it's not like there is a huge difference. So, now going to which and also less problematic. Um, none of them is problematic. None of them is problematic. Notwithstanding, I know they all have their weaknesses. Each of those two, they have their weaknesses. But some of their weaknesses are general, as in within the two of them have those weaknesses. Like the starter, this their start. Well, the starter of the earlier, the older one tends to last a little bit longer, but then they still eventually have those issues over time. While the newer, the starter doesn't last. Um, Not other. What I mean doesn't last. I mean it tends to fail more than the earlier, the older one. The older one is bigger. The starter is bigger, while the newer one is smaller. But they are interchangeable. You can put the starter of older in the newer one and put the starter of newer in the older engine. So it all depends. Um, what else? The cylinder head cover of both, they tend to leak over time. The engine cylinder head covers. So their sales are not available. So what you do is you get a good or quality RTV silicone gasket maker. Use it to seal, and sealing goes oil leak goes away for a long time. Um, like I said, they have their shortcomings. Um, Now, to be specific, the older ES9J4, that's the older engine, V6 engine has it's not a problem, but then there are some parts that are not easily available of that engine. like the spark plugs, they are not easily available, but eventually you find them. Though you may end up not getting the OEM, but to get the aftermarket, you have to keep testing until you find what that works. Unless you probably sought for OEM, maybe from Bank Kaduna or online. Some other parts or one other parts like the what's it called? The water pump is no longer available. In fact, there is no longer in production. New one for that ES9J4. The water pump is different from the ES9J4. So what will now happen is if you change the water pump, however, it's not available anymore unless you buy a used one. But you can swap in uh the ES9J4S, the newer V6. You can swap in the water pump, its own water pump in the ES9J4, and it will work. The only thing that if you put the water pump of ES9J4, then you have to change the timing belt tensioner. You put the timing belt tensioner of ES9J4S, the newer one, in the ES9J4. If you put water pump of the ES9J4S in the ES9J4. So in other words, the two of them go together. Both water pump and the timing belt tensioner, they all go together. So it won't be a problem. Even though the ES9J4, the older V6, the water pump and the timing tensioner they are no longer available in production, new ones. Unless you want to search for new old ones, which may not even be easily for you to find. So the best option, which will kind of be a permanent solution, is to put the water pump of the newer EV6 engine and the tensioner, timing belt tensioner. That's all, and the problem solved. Timing belt is the same. So there are a few other things, but generally, the ES9J4S, the newer one. Um, what else is that? It has its own issue like misfire. It doesn't like bad fuel. That I can tell you for sure. It doesn't like bad fuel. So if you use bad fuel all the time, it produces a lot of carbons deposit inside the combustion chambers, and they tend to make them misfire. And and also the engine wiring harness, you need to be sure you are not messing with the wire, otherwise you start causing misfire here and there. There's a wireless socket in the middle of the newer engine that tends to break, or over time when the mileage keep increasing. It now change, it becomes too hard, so any small thing crack, the plastic part of the connector will crack, and the wires, the pins inside will start pulling out, start touching each other, and they'll be giving all kinds of misfire. Sometimes it will cause hard start. The car will even start until you sort out those two connectors. I'm not so sure that the ES9J for the older one has that issue. Um, Even if it does, well, I'm not aware of it. What else? There are so many, so these are just minor things. They're not really a big deal. You can use the car for years, don't even know see any of this problem. So that's what I mean in terms of which one is problematic. Now you understand that any of them, all or both of them have their weaknesses, shortcomings, and so it's not like this is better than this. Uh, in terms of the durability, you can't use anyone. And he said, which one is not complicated? Both of them are okay. Um, they are V6, so I don't expect them to be less complex. They are V6, so basically the engine block is basically the same. Um, there could be a little or one or so, maybe small. Okay, no, I don't think they are the same. No, and I can't tell. I'm not sure the block is the same with ES9J4S. Because I know the tensioners are different. The observed tensioners are different, so I'm not so sure. So anyway, there's nothing much. But then, what I would say here is the one that will be easier to maintain in terms of parts availability is the newer one, which is ES9J4S. So I think I don't know what else to say here. Um, Personally, I prefer the newer one to the older one. Um, the newer one has a more newer system, which make it much easier to diagnose for me anyway. The older one, yeah, it can easily be diagnosed. They don't have complex wiring system per se. But there are some parts that are not available or not easily available. For example, the air tube, the air tube or hose between the filter, air filter box to the intake manifold, not available. If that hose, if your own gets damaged or lost or something happens to it, you'll be surprised that you won't be able to find a replacement. So unlike the ES9J4, the new one that's really weird. I'm not saying they are very new, but they are basically can easily get them. So they are here and there, stuff. Some people prefer the older one, but me, I prefer the newer one. You my some will tell you the newer one is more complex, but personally, I don't see. I don't know. I prefer it. It's easier for me to even work on. Trust me, it's easier for me to work on self than the older one. But for me, you know, the older one uses spark plug cables, which or spark plug high tension cables or spark plug leads. All those things, when they start to leak current, it start misfiring, I don't know, here and there. So anyway, it's a choice, but I always prefer the ES9J for it. It has more power, it consumes less, and easier for me to work on. Parts more available. So okay, I hope that helps.